Maybe it's because it's springtime, but lately I've been thinking a lot about what I want for the future. What seeds I want to plant, both literally and metaphorically, and what would feel the most meaningful looking ahead. I've been living in Germany for over a year now. I turned 30 here, I fell more deeply in love here. I worked through a lot of anxiety and fear while getting used to living in a new country with a new language and a house to renovate. I've come a long way, but there's still some things I'm figuring out. I know I want to be of service. I want to do meaningful work for others, and there's some ideas I have in mind that make me so excited and make me feel so alive in this new season. But it's too soon to know how it'll work out for certain, and for now, all there is to do is plant the seeds, and if we keep on watering them every day, know that eventually they'll grow. It is finally time to start planting all of the seeds in our garden. Hopefully we'll get a really amazing harvest the following months in the year, but it starts with just planting the seeds. We need to go to the garden center and get a few more things. We have a lot on hand already, but there's a few more things we want to get, and this garden center is... Actually, all of the garden centers in Germany are just gorgeous. The Germans really care about their gardening. What was that? I think I should take two.
You probably have to plant them in one of the pretty pots.
Like something like this.
What do you think? Mm-hmm. We're mostly here for vegetables, so naturally we found a bunch of flowers for the rest of the garden.
What did you find?
Purple potatoes. Like imagine mashed potatoes that are purple. So we can put them in 2 different garden beds.
Alright you guys, we got everything we wanted and even a little bit more. I snuck away to this little private section to say we couldn't help ourselves and we went a little crazy. We definitely got more than we needed, but now our garden should be very beautiful by the end of today. Now that the warmer weather is here, Ellie and I are getting so excited to start planning and brainstorming some upcoming international trips in the next year or so, and we recently discovered a brand that can really help us out with one of the things we always have to think about: internet. So if you guys are planning an international trip, the sponsor of this week's video, Sowing, can really help you out. Getting internet abroad can be such an expensive hassle. I've paid my fair share of high roaming fees, and there's always those local SIM cards that are hiked up price-wise for the tourists. But all of that expensive hassle is avoidable through Sowing. Sowing is a global eSIM provider that offers hundreds of flexible travel data plans in over 200 destinations. It has quick and easy setup, it's affordable, and it has 24/7 chat support. Sowing is all about flexibility and finding a plan that works for you, whether you need a 1 GB plan or a 100 GB plan. Sowing has you covered, and it's easier than ever to monitor your eSIM through the Sowing app, where your eSIM automatically activates the moment you reach your destination. Sowing is kindly offering you guys a 15% discount on all of their travel data plans when you use my code Maddie Taylor at checkout. You can download their app, or you can go to sowing.com/Maddie Taylor. There is a link down in the description box below, and don't forget to let me know where you're planning on going, because I would love to hear about it. We are losing light extremely quickly, so we're just gonna try to finish up preparing this garden so that we can actually sow all the seeds tomorrow morning bright and early. But Yana, Elli's mom, had this just lying around in her yard, and it is the perfect height, and I mean the perfect height for us to walk through, and more importantly, for beans and cucumbers and squash to climb up throughout the next seasons. Like, look at this. Is this not crazy? Oh, so cool.
What do I have here? Hi, little potato.
What was that?
Coffee is the juice of life.
Let's go!
I know you're Oh wow.
I'm winded. Good morning, you guys. It is a beautiful, bright, sunny day here in northern Germany. All of our ducks are running around in the garden. And last week, you guys actually voted on the name for our new duck. The name that won is, drumroll please, Willow. Thank you, Elli. Willow. That was actually Elli's favorite name for this duck from the beginning. So very good choice, you guys. And today is the perfect day to get in the garden and sow some seeds. The goal of our garden this year is to make it as productive and permaculture friendly as possible, and luckily those two things often can work very much hand in hand. This is our lowest flower bed over here, and so it's actually the ones that the ducks can potentially reach, which means the best thing for it is to make it an herb garden so that our ducks don't want to eat it. They're not really into rosemary and thyme and all that. And it's kind of the most fun because I can sort of sprinkle around all these pollinator friendly companion plants like fairy dust in there. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And that'll actually work best for making a permaculture garden. I did plant some garlic and onion in rows, but the rest is just scattered throughout. Hopefully in just a few months, this will be a huge, beautiful, pollinator friendly herb and flower bed. So this one is kind of the base, the foundation, if you will, that will help the rest of the garden to thrive. This whole bed is going to be our salad bed. It's also the highest one, which is good because I think this is the one that the ducks would be most interested in consuming. Speaking of the ducks, they are literally on our lawn right now, just sleeping in the sunshine. These tiny little seeds, I don't even know if you can see them. They're so tiny, they're like a poppy seed, are going to become huge tomato plants. You know the best way to eat tomatoes. Fresh off the vine. The entire premise of permaculture is a bunch of different plants working together in community to the benefit of all. It's how these plants evolved in the wild. They're sown wherever they can find a spot, and it turns out
that they end up creating these little communities that can help reduce pests. It can increase chances for pollinators like birds and bees and butterflies, and they end up really helping each other out, providing shade for each other, providing nutrients for one another, and then they all thrive more because of each other's connection and community. When you keep these plants separate from one another, when you stop them from providing those benefits to one another, it turns out it's harder for all of the plants, and you end up making more work in the long run to try to remove the pests that inevitably come, and you also lose important pollinators in the process. You reduce soil health, you reduce plant health, and the entire community suffers from being apart from one another. And I'm sitting here thinking about how this is a metaphor for a certain other species, but maybe I'm a little too on the nose here. That said, I feel like a big reason people don't do permaculture gardens is because there is a little bit of a learning curve. Certain plants do like to be grouped together, and certain plants don't grow well together, and so it is important to know. But once you kind of get the hang of grouping different plants together, and there are so many different resources online to figure out how to group different plants together, it's actually fairly easy. 4 different types of carrots. I actually am going to space these out in thin rows, but there's going to be a bunch of other plants in here with them, and I'll kind of sprinkle in some other species that might boost their nutrients a little bit more too. The garden is officially sown, and now we have to wait and see what we reap. A quick search into Google or ChatGPT can help you to figure out exactly how you should organize your seeds in your garden bed. But you can also use your intuition. You know, things like big viney zucchinis and pumpkins need a lot more space and should be farther apart than other plants. If you have a similar layout at home, I'm going to post this little picture so you guys can see where we organized everything. You're welcome to use that. And I'm just very happy that that is done, and hopefully in a few months we will reap what we sowed. What do you think about the garden, Ottie? Do you think we did a good job? Do you think we did a good job?
Let's sew some sheets. Let's sew some sheets, shall we?
No sheep.
Hello.
I finally had time. There's a very loud fly. You're very loud. You need to go away.
You're blocking my light.
My neighbor's next door, and I always feel kind of weird talking to the camera when anyone, period, is around.
No, do they the singing again?
What other thing?
The singing.
Everybody look to Everybody look to the right.
When you need to go.
There are people coming right now. There's been no one out here.
Bright. Where are we? Where do I live?
Been literally no one out here, and now there's someone coming right now. There's other people coming.
Really cute. It's actually Elli's name. What?
It's my name. Elli, Willow.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.